Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of 0 to 0, a pointless football podcast for fans and non-fans alike. Where we pit someone who knows some football, that would be me, Fixxxer, against someone who knows absolutely nothing about football, but could talk for an hour about how a fight would go between Vikings and Buccaneers, and that person providing the illogical arguments is Tulkas. What's up, Tulkas?
Yeah, I'm Tulkas. I'm Tulkas, and I know all I need to know about football. So there, I am as knowledgeable as you are from my point of view. So there.
So you're ready to lay down your football knowledge?
Yeah, I'm gonna lead. I will lead. I thought you were gonna lead, but sure, I'll lead.
Right. So the purpose of this podcast, the goal of this podcast, is to see if I can predict game results with more accuracy using football knowledge versus Tulkas, who will base his predictions on completely arbitrary reasons.
Except they aren't arbitrary, and they weren't arbitrary 3 years ago when you first suggested this to me, Fixxxer.
Yes, this is a 3 years in the making podcast, so I don't want to oversell it now. You're not going to find any amazing knowledge or secrets here that you could take to Vegas. This is a lighthearted, silly entertainment podcast only. That's why we have Tulkas on board, right?
Woo! I'm silly and entertaining. Did you hear that, guys? Fixxxer said I'm silly and entertaining. That means I'm entertaining. I'm entertaining at youtube.com/Tulkas.
There you go. All right, I guess we could talk about like the format and what people can expect here. Each game is going to be covered one at a time. I'll give a brief summary of the game. For instance, the first one we're going to cover is the Atlanta Falcons at the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'll make my prediction on who I think is going to win, and then Tulkas will make his. We'll go one at a time, cover all the games. And at the end, we will feature one game where I'll go into detail about how each city got their football team and how they came about with their name. You know, the Detroit Lions, were they always known as the Detroit Lions? Did they have a name before? These things will all be answered. One game per week will cover in detail about that, and by the time the season is over, we will have covered all the teams. All in all, I suspect the first episode to be about 50 minutes or so, and subsequent episodes would probably be about 40 minutes. You've got the stamina for that, Tulkas?
No, but woo!
Before we jump into the games, let's give a little bit of background on our football knowledge. I'll give you a short history about how I got into football and whatnot. I played Little League Soccer for a few years, and my team was called the Vikings. When I was about 8 years old, I saw my parents watching like a Lions-Vikings football game, and I noticed these guys had the same colors as my soccer team, the same exact logo. Everything was the same. I'm like, holy cow, that's my team, only they're playing a completely different sport. And that's when I became a football fan. And of course, I grew up in Detroit, so becoming a Vikings fan was a little bit of a no-no, but you know, sometimes that happens, right?
Well, is this segueing to my football knowledge?
No. Okay, so
cool.
I became a pretty big fan through many ups and downs over the years, as many fans know about the Vikings. And I started playing fantasy football around 1997, 96 or so, before it was even called fantasy football. So I was a pretty big football fan. But over the past 5 years or so, I kind of became disillusioned with sports in general. I was clued in on the milking of fans, the mistreatment of employees, and the milking of taxpayers, and I kind of got away from sports a little bit. I still follow, though. I consider myself a casual fan, but I understand football, how it works, and I know enough, I think, to make sensible predictions. So, Tulkas, tell me about your football knowledge.
Let's see. So when I was in 4th grade, my first exposure to football was when the teacher divided us into groups and had us all make a rap about football for like English or something. And what my group came up with was, quote, Peyton Manning, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. So that was my 4th grade. And then
that's like the oldest football cheer in the book.
Oh, well, I thought it was original at the time. So don't diss 9-year-old Tulkas. 9-year-old Tulkas was British aerospace engineering. Then in like 2013, we had the Super Bowl here in Indianapolis. It was cool. I like went downtown and there was like a zip line. And there were like a lot of people, but all I remember is the zip line. The zip line was fun. And then one time we think the Colts faced off like the New Orleans team, and then the New Orleans team won. And I think Andrew Luck is like this generation's Peyton Manning or something. And I guess he's lucky. I don't know. I don't know why he's called Andrew Luck.
That's good enough for me. Perfect. Are you ready to make some predictions then?
Oh, I'm ready. And could you tell the viewers the rules you have laid down for me?
I could tell the viewers the rules I've laid down for you.
Will you tell the viewers the rules you've laid down for me?
I will not. We're going to start with the Thursday night football game between the Atlanta Falcons playing against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia.
Ooh! The city of brotherly love! The city of brotherly love!
It is indeed. So the reigning Super Bowl champions begin the season with a rematch of the divisional playoff game last season against the Falcons. At the time of this recording, the Eagles' Carson Wentz is not cleared for game time, and it is unlikely he will be. I think they might even keep him out for the first 2 or 3 games. The Falcons, they're going to be tough again this year. I just think that Nick Foles is going to handle it just fine. The Eagles are going to pull out a win. That is my prediction for the first game. Tulkas, how do you think the Falcons are going to do at Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, I've actually been thinking about this all through our various failed attempts at starting this podcast. And it's really difficult because, like, you know, what is a falcon and what is an eagle? Now, I'm not big up on my ornithology, as it were. However, like, I think that falcons are, like, small and, like, eagles are, like, big. Like, eagles use their feet and they claw and they're, like, rawr. But then, like, well, they aren't raw. They go, like, caw. And then the falcons are, like, more small. They're like the peregrine falcon. So, like, they have more speed, to be sure. However, how does that fare against the might of the Eagles? And I think that the Eagles, I don't know, I think that they're just going to be able to tank it. I think the Eagles can tank. You know, the Falcons are going to try to do dive bobbing and be all pecking and raw. But I think the Eagles, they're just going to be here, and they're just going to be steadfast and resolute, and the Eagles will win. Woo!
So you're also picking the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's a good first choice, Tulkas. I think you're going to be right. Second game, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Future Hall of Famer Joe Thomas has retired from the Browns, but many are excited to see their defense play this year. The Steelers will have one of the best wide receivers in the game, in Antonio Brown, but their quarterback Ben Roethlisberger is aging, and Le'Veon Bell has still not shown up for training camp. I mean, he's not on the scene at all. He's holding out for a better contract. And his teammates have been kind of passive-aggressive on Twitter and other social media about it. I'm not even sure he's coming back at all. I think he's going to get traded, but that's something we'll probably see next week. Well, who knows? Anyways, I think the Browns improved a good deal for this year, and I think a lot of people are really excited to see him play, but not yet. I'm going with the Steelers, especially if they can get Bell in time, which I don't think they will. Still going with Steelers. How about you?
And what material composes this Bell?
That's a good question. He's
steel.
He's steel.
Is it steel?
Yes.
It's a steel bell? I didn't know you made bells out of steel, but now we know.
This one is.
We have the steel bell versus the brown. What is this? Raw Roethlisberger? Well, I don't even know what that word is, but that's something. They're like, so we have a Roethlisberger who's brown, presumably. We have like this brown dude.
No. Roethlisberger is steel as well. He's on the Steelers.
Oh, cool! So we have Roby. Well, I'll call him RB. We have RB and the Bell, and they're steel. Now I was thinking like Browns, like so they're going to be using brown. Like how do you weaponize the color brown? So I think that perhaps it's that they have control over all things that are brown. Do you think that's likely?
I think that's a fair assessment. Dirt would be one of those things.
Yeah, so let's see. We have dirt, we have feces, we have trees. Trees are brown. What else is brown?
You're not going to find a whole lot of trees or feces on a football field, but you're going to find a lot of dirt.
I'm not going to. I have something I want to say, but I'm not going to say because we're keeping it classy here at the 0 to 0 whatever podcast. So you're going to have a lot of dirt, and there's like the AstroTurf. Like they have like it's fake grass they have on the football field, right?
On some football fields, I think the Browns have real grass.
Okay, so we have real grass that are growing in real dirt. So now this is the field that they're playing on, and the Browns have control over this. Like they have like they're playing on a surface of the Browns' control. I mean, you can ring your bell all you want and like be all steely and stuff, but I mean, what is steel? Steel is metal. Metal is slippery. So you just like you have these people just like wading across the mud, trying to like throw their foot. The football is brown.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point.
The football is brown. What the? Okay. This is dumb. Browns win. Browns win. 10 to 10. Browns are gonna win.
Fair enough. Next up, on Sunday, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Indianapolis Colts. That would be Tulkas' home team, right?
Woo!
So, okay, the Colts got themselves a new coach in Frank Reich, and Andrew Luck returns after being out all last season, which is Tulkas' lucky guy. And the Bengals still have A.J. Green, one of the best receivers in the game, but unfortunately, they still have Andy Dalton throwing to him. I think Reich is a good fit for them, but I can't vote for Andrew Luck, Tulkas, until we see him play a game or two. He's been out for so long. He's a fragile person. I'm going with Cincinnati Bengals. How about you?
Why was he out?
He got injured.
Oh no! I wish he had come to me. I would have kissed it and made it better. Whatever happened to Peyton Manning?
He retired.
What about Eli Manning?
He's still playing.
Oh, okay. Well, go Eli Manning. Okay, so we have some Bengals with like some AJ Green guy. Ooh, look at what is it with all these colors? So the Bengals are like tigers from India. I don't know why we have like Indian tigers. However, I think that India is an up and coming powerhouse, very developing. However, I think that part of that involves the tigers probably aren't long for this world. So I don't know. I don't know about the Bengal tigers. I feel like they're probably an endangered species. I don't know. I should do more research for this. But I mean, then we have the Colts. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my Colts. But I mean, they're like baby horses. Like what is this? We have like endangered tigers versus baby horses. I don't know. But I mean, horses.
Sounds like no contest to me, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, horseshoes are like lucky, aren't they? And like Andrew Luck is luck, so that's like double luck. I think horseshoes are lucky. I don't know. I don't know what luck is, but I think
some people feel horseshoes are lucky. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we have double the luck versus these like endangered tigers. Like I don't know. I'm calling the Colts. I'm calling the Colts all the way. Colts all the way. Woo! Woo!
How about those apples? All right, moving on to another Sunday game: the Tennessee Titans versus the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are in complete disarray. Their quarterbacks have looked horrible. Every year seems to be Tannehill's year, yet it isn't. They're completely undisciplined. They lost Sue and Landry. And the Titans, they brought in a new coach. They have a great offensive line, a decent defense. And I'm going with the Tennessee Titans to beat the Dolphins in Miami. How about you?
So how are the Dolphins able to play on land?
Well, it is in Miami.
Okay.
It's possible this fight could happen in the water.
I see. So it's partially submerged.
Yes, if it isn't, it will be probably sometime soon.
I see. Well, let's see. So the Titans. So the Titans obviously come from Age of Mythology. For those, quick refresher, Kronos possessed Krios, and he told Castor to go out and like free the Titans. So then the Titans were freed, and they went rampaging around until like Demigod or Kantos came down and made them send the Titans back. So we have the Titans like stomping around, and we're pretty late in the game, Age of Mythology. We've researched the secrets of the Titans, we've built the Titans, and meanwhile the Dolphins are all around in our economy, raiding villagers. It's all submerged. Like I don't even know how you can like do this, but I mean the Titans are probably bogged down in the water. I mean, you have to like lift your feet out of the water, like. I don't know, I mean, this is probably a pretty submerged field, so they're probably like up to their waist in water, and they're just like flailing around in the water, being like.
Wait, how tall is a Titan then?
I don't know, like 40 feet, something. 50 feet.
All right, proceed.
Yeah, they're tall beasties.
Are they taller than giants?
Yeah, I think they're probably. Well, I don't know, probably taller than giants. Yeah, definitely taller than giants because Volstagg was a giant and he was smaller. Anyway, Age of Mythology lore here. Woo! But yeah, I think that the Dolphins, they're just going to be able to run around, have their blades be like slicing the Titan's legs, and it'll be like the Titan will be like punching the water, but you can't punch the water. So Miami Dolphins, 10 out of 10.
Interesting. Excellent. All right. Next up, San Francisco 49ers versus the Minnesota Vikings. So the Vikings have responded to their disappointing blowout in the NFC Championship game by improving the best defense in the league through both free agency and the draft, perhaps excessively so. And then they spent tons of cash on Kirk Cousins. The 49ers, they lost Jerick McKinnon for the year due to an ACL tear, which makes me sad. I was really hoping for McKinnon to have a good year. I was excited to see him play as the top back. Everyone seems to love Garoppolo, but I don't think they have any chance against the Vikings this weekend. I'm going with the Vikings. How about you?
Does ACL stand for the American Classical League?
No. Anterior cruciate ligament.
No, I don't know what that is. Okay, so we have the 49ers, so named because it was 1849. They were all coming to California like a gold rush. We have the Vikings, who are also famed for going west in search of gold, namely the gold to be found in English monasteries. So we have two sides looking for gold to finance further expeditions. Now the question is, who was better at getting gold? I mean, I think the Vikings. I mean, they probably got a lot of gold. I mean, raiding monasteries, going upriver. I think they were in France, but I don't think the 49ers really found that much gold. So I mean, I have to give it to the Vikings. I mean, gold rush dudes just going out there covered wagons just chilling, whereas we have the Vikings being ooh, we're gonna plunder and raid and go wow. Yeah, I think it's Vikings.
Fair enough. It makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. The look of disappointment on Sean Payton's face after the Minneapolis Miracle was pure schadenfreude for me, and for a lot of people. They still got a good team. There's no denying that. The Buccaneers, Jameis Winston is suspended for the first 3 games, so I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is starting at the quarterback position. The Bucs have a good wide receiver core, but the Saints secondary they're not going to give Fitzpatrick any easy targets. I think the Saints win this one easily. New Orleans Saints. How about you, Tulkas?
I don't know. So the question is, of course, who are the Saints? I mean,
they were named after the song "When the Saints Go Marching In."
Okay, so we have the Saints marching in. Okay,
yeah,
and obviously New Orleans is French, and the French Saint is Joan d'Arc. So we have Joan in there and going up against some Buccaneers. Which fun fact, Buccaneers is the sports team from my college, Beloit. Woo! So we have my old college bozos down in Tampa Bay versus the Saints. I don't know. This is pretty difficult.
So wait, what did you end up with? Are you going with the Saints or the Bucs?
Yeah, the Saints.
Okay. All right, moving on. The Houston Texans are playing at the New England Patriots. As long as Bill Belichick is in New England, they have a chance. No doubt about that. Brady's getting older, but it doesn't matter. I'm not sure how many wide receivers they have right now. I think they've only got 3 going into the season. I don't know if they picked up any before this weekend, but it's not looking too great. They do have Cordero Patterson, though, and I've always been a Cordero Patterson fan. I'm hoping that Bill Belichick can use him properly, unlike his previous coaches. So over on Houston, Deshaun Watson returns after being injured most of the season. He put up some pretty fantastic numbers in the first 5 games. Will he be able to continue that? Will he be able to return from injury? We don't know. Their defense can be good, and Watson has Hopkins to throw to, but that offensive line is awful, and they're going to get Watson murdered. I don't think they have a chance against the Patriots. Patriots win. How do you feel, Tulkas?
Well, obviously, Belichick is short for bellicose chicken. So we have this really angry chicken living in New Orleans going up against these
New
Texans,
England, right?
New England, something like that. So
yeah.
We have these New England bellicose chicken, and he's all patriotic, I guess. I don't know why the chickens are patriotic, but they are. Maybe they have some new chicken land. I don't know, but we have this bellicose chicken versus the Houston Texans. But I mean, Texans hunt chickens, don't they, Fixxxer? Like you know about the Texans.
Absolutely. We love our chickens.
So I guess maybe that's why he's so bellicose. Maybe he's been hunting my family, so I'm going to go. So you have this ultimate comeback revenge narrative here, where we have, the Belichick. He's patriotic. He believes in his chicken nation, and the chicken nation has long been persecuted by the people from Texas. The Lone Star State has been persecuting his people, and he's going to rise up and he's going to strike up against these Texans. And I mean, you can't to go for the Texans here would be to strike a blow against self-determination and democracy and the right to the pursuit of happiness and all these other things that are enshrined in the Declaration of Independence. I mean, I have to give it to the Patriots here. I have to give it to the bellicose chicken.
That's as good as reason as any to pick the Patriots. All right, moving on. The Jacksonville Jaguars versus the New York Football Giants. Pat Shurmur is the new coach of the Giants after working miracles in Minnesota. Got a new general manager as well. They drafted Saquon Barkley first overall, and he surely will be exciting to see this year. And lucky for him, he gets to face one of the best defenses in his very first game. The Jaguars are pretty great everywhere, but can Blake Bortles do it? Can they get over the hump with Blake Bortles? I don't think they can. But I do think they beat the Giants. I'm going with the Jaguars here. Tulkas, Jaguars versus Giants.
What kind of a name is Blake Bortles? Wow.
Yeah, you know what? You're not the first to bring that up.
Okay, so the thing the Giants have going for them is their strength. They're very strong. They're very big. They're very stamina. They're very, they're strong, big, powerful dudes. Right? What do the Jaguars have going for them? Speed. They're fast and they're stealthy. They zip through the undergrowth. We have these Giants with their big clubs. They're trying to bash the Jaguars, but as soon as they bring it down to bash, it's all like the Titans versus Dolphins, I suppose, because as soon as they bring the club down to bash, the Jaguar just zips away. So then what do the Giants end up doing? They end up smacking each other with their club. They try to stomp on the Jaguar, and then the Jaguar just jumps away and slashes them, like Singleton slashing the foot of Morgoth. And then Morgoth walked forever with a limp. So what we have here, I think the Jaguars are gonna win. Mr. Blake Bortle can do it. You Bortle them, man. Get Bortled. The Giants, my prediction, 10 out of 10, Giants get Bortled.
Jacksonville it is then, eh?
Yep. That's in Florida, right? Or is that Tennessee?
Yeah, that's Florida.
Okay, woo! Florida.
Full of Jaguars. All right. Another Sunday game, the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens. Buffalo dumped Tyrod Taylor and are going with Peterman? Are we for real here? With that offensive line and those wide receivers, I don't think Peterman's going to be able to do a damn thing. It's going to be bad. The Ravens, they picked up a bunch of new wide receivers. Maybe one or two will stick. But the Bills have one of the best secondaries in the league. Ravens defense, they should make it hard on the Bills. Peterman, their new QB, and I don't think he's going to be able to overcome it. I might even say that Peterman's going to be pulled by halftime. I don't know. I think the Ravens are going to win against the Bills. How about you, Tulkas?
This is an interesting look at the food chain. So here we have some buffaloes and ravens, and usually ravens eat buffaloes because ravens are scavengers. If you get the buffalo that's dead. I think that the ravens, maybe they lead predators to them. I don't know. I don't know things. But so we have the buffaloes dead, and then the raven scavenges them. However, this means that the buffalo, in this instance, obviously,
that means someone else has to kill the buffalo, right?
Yeah, someone else has to kill the buffalo. So, who are the Ravens going to lead out? They're living in Baltimore, and I think that Baltimore is where the Colts used to live. So are they going to leave the Colts? Woo, I'd luck. Are they going to lead the Colts? No, they're not going to do that. Baltimore has Mr. Trash Wheel. I remember Mr. Trash Wheel. Do you know about Mr. Trash Wheel, Fixxxer TV?
No, I know Baltimore has Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay, so in Baltimore Harbor, there's a dude named Mr. Trashville. You can read his name on Reddit. It's really cool. They're gonna be I don't know how to call this. Surely the Ravens, the Buffaloes, they don't have hands or whatever. So if a Raven tries to swoop down and peck out the Buffalo's eyes, then the Buffaloes can't see. And if you can't see, then how are you going to play football? But on the other hand, how can you move the football around if you're a Raven? You absolutely have 3 Ravens per one football. I don't know. What is the average airspeed velocity of the unloaded Raven? I don't know. So can I make this a toss-up?
A football is not unlike a coconut, right?
Yeah, that's true. Do I have the ability to make it a toss-up?
Ties are possible, yes, in the NFL.
Okay, I'm calling a tie.
A tie, okay.
Yeah, because my prediction is, we're going full prediction. Okay, the Ravens, they're going to swoop down and peck out the eyes of the Buffaloes. However, the Buffaloes are going to be able to communicate with each other even without eyesight, and they're going to be able to kick the ball around and prevent the Ravens from being able to swoop down and get a good grip on this. And the Ravens, so basically it's just going to be, the Buffaloes are going to try to get the ball away, and they're going to stubble each other, and then the Ravens are going to try to fly it away, and then it's going to slip and fall, and it's just going to be a whole it's going to be a mosh pit. Nothing's going to happen.
A mosh pit of Buffalo and Raven, eh?
Yeah. No, feathers everywhere. Eye goo. Yeah, it's going to be gross.
Lovely. All right, the Kansas City Chiefs will be playing at the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday afternoon. The Chiefs traded away Alex Smith because they felt Pat Mahomes was ready, and they got him Sammy Watkins to throw to alongside Hill and Kelsey. Very good wide receiving core. They traded Marcus Peters, though. I'm not sure how much of a fan base the LA Chargers have after they left San Diego. They had a good team last year, though, and they didn't sell out a single game. Not a single one. Their stadium seats 27,000, and they didn't sell out a single game. In fact, their average attendance was dead last in the league and less than one half of the second worst attendance. No one cares about this football team. But they got a good team on both sides of the ball. And I think this is going to be a really good game. I'm going to go with Phillip Rivers and the Chargers right now until I see more out of Mahomes. So, the Chargers. Tulkas, how do you feel?
I care about the Chargers. I
Do
like
you?
charging. Yeah, I like to have like my electronics charged. I like to have a charge bonus. I care about the Chargers. Okay, call it Chargers' second favorite team after Colts. Root for the underdog. You're a mean fix. You're a really horrible person. But okay, so we have the Chiefs versus the Chargers. Now the Chargers, they have this charge bonus, and they're able to, they have a really powerful frontal assault. However, like any Chargers, that means that they have put all their firepower on, their front. They're counting on getting one good charge off to knock out the enemy. But the Chiefs, they're pretty mobile. These are like Native American Chiefs, right? Fixxxer TV?
Yes, they are.
So they're probably, they're on horses themselves, and they're probably pretty, they're able to, they're good at horsemanship, so they're able to ride around and hit the Chargers in the reel. They probably have like ranged attack, where the Chargers have like lances. So we're just gonna have like the Chargers trying to charge at the Chiefs with the lances, and the Chiefs just like they scatter. They go around, they fire at them from the rear, they hit them from the rear, they surround, they divide, they conquer. They have the mobility, and the Chargers, they aren't able to get a good charge off. So as much as I love the Chargers, I have to give this to the Chiefs. I'm sorry, Fixxxer. Well, I agree with you. Okay, I'm sorry that you're a bad person, Fixxxer. There you go.
I thought you said that you liked the Chargers. You were like, I like the underdog.
Do. Well, I hope they'll win, but I don't think they'll win.
That's a fair assessment.
I like Chargers. Like charging is cool. Like lances. Like what would you rather fight with, a lance or a bow and arrow? Like a lance every day of the week. But like sometimes a bow and arrow is just more powerful.
Sometimes. All right. Another Sunday afternoon game was the Dallas Cowboys versus the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. Longtime Cowboy Jason Witten has retired, and Des Bryant was released, and he remains unsigned. The Panthers picked up Norv Turner to run his offense, and I'm not sure that's going to give anybody confidence these days. I think the Panthers' defensive line and linebacking core will be enough to keep Dallas down in this game, and they're going to pull out a victory. I'm going with the Carolina Panthers. How about you, Tulkas?
I don't know. The thing is that Cowboys, they're pretty good shots, aren't they? I think that if the battlefield here had foliage and other obstacles, then the Panthers would win because they'd be able to sneak out and lunge and get the Cowboys. However, we're just playing this on this open field with maybe AstroTurf, maybe not. I don't know.
An open field in Carolina, by the way.
Yeah, in Carolina. I don't know Cowboys live in Carolina, but whatever. Wait, which Carolina? I thought there were two.
They represent both Carolina.
Well, that's weird. I don't have time to decipher that. We're just going to say the Cowboys...
You mean where do they play? They play in Charlotte, North Carolina.
No, but they represent whatever. They're like Schrodinger's panther, both north and south until someone opens the box. So we have Cowboys, they're going like pew, 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 pew. And the Panthers, they're trying to get around. They're trying to flank. The Cowboys, they're going to lasso, bing down. It has to be Cowboys.
You think the Cowboys have an easy time lassoing the Panthers?
Lassoing is what the Cowboys do. As I said, this is an open field. They're able to get good, clean shots. If it was any other terrain, I would favor the Panthers. But in this field, I just have to give it to the Cowboys.
Fair enough. All right. Sunday afternoon again, the Washington Redskins versus the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. So the Redskins, they let Kirk Cousins walk, and they traded for Alex Smith. They also picked up Adrian Peterson. We'll see how much gas he has left in his tank. Speaking of former Vikings, the Cardinals signed Sam Bradford, who is returning from a bone bruise in his knee that kept him out all season long. He will run the show with their first round pick, Josh Rosen, while he learns on the sidelines. The Cardinals are also trotting out a new head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, and special teams coordinator. They totally revamped their coaching staff. And they get David Johnson back, too, one of the best running backs in football. I think much of this will depend on if the Cardinals' offensive line can keep Bradford off his ass. It's a toss-up for me, though. I think I'm going to go with Bradford and the Cardinals to defeat the Redskins. What are your feelings?
Interesting fact here is that in the Google document we used, Fixxxer said that we would keep Bradford off his butt. However, in this live recording, he said we would keep Bradford off his ass. Why did you choose to supplement ass for butt, Fixxxer TV?
I am aiming for the podcast to be a little edgy.
Ooh, edgy! Can I be edgy, please?
Not too edgy. I don't want to become an edgelord. But I'd like to know how you feel about the Redskins versus the Cardinals.
Okay. Well, the Redskins, I mean, oh dear. The first of all, like to know the Tulkas Valiant brand denounces all racism, and he thinks that the Redskins might be racist. I don't know, but we're just gonna take this as it is. We're just gonna Redskin. Okay, Cardinals have red feathers, so they're both red. So we have this blinding redness. Oh, this is a really difficult. Oh, this is a really difficult thing for me because it's. I don't know. The Cardinal, the Cardinal isn't really powerful. Don't get me wrong. The Cardinal is a state bird of Indiana. There's a cardinal in a nest right there outside. I can see. I think. My computer.
Aren't they generally pissy birds though? The Cardinals.
Oh, well, they're pretty. I like cardinals. You're mean.
The male cardinal is pretty. You don't often see the female cardinal, which is not as red as the red cardinal, the male cardinal.
I think all cardinals are pretty, no matter what color they are. Hashtag all cardinals matter. Hashtag stop being offensive. Okay.
All right.
So
all right.
Tell me just briefly. Tell me about the red. I don't. So is Redskins that's a pejorative term for Native American, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we have the Native. So we this is our second Native American name. That's pretty cool. Except so we have our Native Americans. We're going to ignore the pejorative fact. We're just going to assume that they're good. I don't know. I don't have the mental ability to unpack this. But we have Native Americans versus Cardinals. Native Americans, they're good shots. We said last time we said the Cowboys were good shots, but Native Americans are even better shots. And the Cardinals are red, they're the perfect target. So what are the Cardinals going to do? I have to give it to the Redskins. I'm sorry, I just don't think. I love you, Cardinals, but I just don't think you're very powerful. You're pretty and you're cool, but you aren't. The thing is that the Cardinals, they figured out that trying to beat other people in football, that's the emblem of toxic masculinity. The Cardinals have renounced toxic masculinity. So I'm going to say you're going to lose, Cardinals, but you've lost this battle, but you're winning the war. Go on, go you, Cardinals. Yeah.
So Cardinals pull this one out, you think?
No, Redskins pulled it out.
Oh, okay.
They're winning the wars and the broader campaign to be holistically good and happy and stuff, but in terms of football, they're losing.
All right, moving on to the Seattle Seahawks versus the Denver Broncos. The Broncos have cut ties with Paxton Lynch and signed Minnesota's darling Case Keenum and restocked their defense with Chubb in the draft. And we'll finally get to see Jake Butt play some football. For Seattle, Camp Chancellor retired and a once formidable defense is starting to look average, although they did get Earl Thomas in camp this week, so that is a plus for them, I suppose. They drafted a shiny new running back in Penny, but their offensive line is still very questionable, as it's been for quite a while. With Russell Wilson behind center, they've always got a chance. However, I am going with Denver at home.
These are pretty interesting names we have here. So let's see. So the Seattle Seahawks, I'm not sure what a Seahawk is. I guess it's just like a hawk, but from the sea. However, the Denver Broncos, they're Cowboys in Denver, which is in color. I don't even know. So the Broncos, they cut out Paxton Lynch. They cut out Pax means peace. So they left peace behind. They're going all warlike, and they have this Case Keenum. I don't know what that means, but it's Case Keenum, and I guess he's good. But then they have this Chubb guy, and to be on a Bronco, it's a balking Bronco, you have to ride the Bronco, and if you're chubby, you can't do it. And then we have this Jake Butt play ball, and Fixxxer just said he was going to be edgy and say ass, so we're just we're being unedgy now. What is this? And then Seattle has this chancellor retire, which suggests that we're having like, a change in government. So, like there's probably some anarchy going around, like everyone's, vying for political power.
That's
So
very
they
true.
probably are pretty disorganized. So like we have this disorganized Seahawks. And I mean, like that would be the most powerful thing about Seahawks, that they'd be able to, move in formation and go swoop up the fish. So we have disorganized Seahawks versus like these Bronco guys that are like, they're renounced peace, but I think that all they're doing in this new warlike stakes, they're just tripping over each other, being all chubby, and they have these dudes with butts and like, I don't know how to call this. I think that again, like the Buffaloes versus the Ravens. I mean, it seems like both teams are really disorganized. Both teams don't know what they're wanting, so I'm going to give this one a tie too.
Another tie.
Yep, 2 ties. Bold predictions.
It's very bold. All right, moving on to Sunday Night Football. That would be the Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers is back, and Chicago traded for Khalil Mack, one of the best defenders in the league. The Bears have a new coach, and their fans are pretty excited for the upcoming season, and rightfully so. The NFC North is going to be one hell of a division this year. Will Mitch Trubisky be enough, though? I don't know. The Packers can never be counted out as long as Aaron Rodgers is behind the ball. And he's got a nice fat contract while he's playing on the field. Mack will be limited for the first game. I don't know if they're going to play him the whole game. I'm going to go with Green Bay at home. How about you, Tulkas?
What do the Packers pack? Meat. What do Bears eat? Meat. Bears win. 10 out of 10.
That is as good a guess as any. Moving to Monday Night Football, the Los Angeles Rams versus the Oakland Raiders. So the Rams added Ndamukong Suh, Aqib Talib, and Marcus Peters to an already fantastic defense led by the terrifying Aaron Donald. They also added Cooks for Goff to throw to. Going to be a tough team this year. The Raiders became the laughing stock of the NFL over the offseason. They added Coach Gruden, and it seems half their fan base doesn't even like him already. They handled the Khalil Mack situation pretty poorly, although I don't think they were robbed by the Bears, as most people think. They got 2 first-round draft picks out of it, and that's quite a lot. And I think that both ways, buying or trading for someone like Mack and getting 2 first-round picks, both are legit ways to build a team. I don't think it's a big deal. They added Jordy Nelson to put alongside Cooper for Derek Carr. And speaking of Derek Carr, are we going to see the real Derek Carr this year? Is that the real Derek Carr? I don't know. I can't say the real Derek Carr, apparently. Anyways, I think the Rams are going to stomp the Raiders. And this is last year before the Raiders moved to Las Vegas.
This reminds me of the Chiefs versus Chargers, because, the Rams, they're very big on, the frontal assault. They charge in, they ram you, but then after they do that, what do they do? I thought the Rams were from St. Louis.
They have moved around quite a bit, yes. They were once in St. Louis.
Oh. Well, that's just mean of them. I don't like your Rams. You're bad. And then the Raiders, again, but the thing is that the Raiders, they're also pretty big on the frontal assault. Like, the idea of being a Raider is you go to the enemy's town, you sack it, and then you withdraw before the enemy's army can move in and apprehend you. They're all about hit and run, guerrilla tactics. So, again, I just think this comes back to the Chargers versus Chiefs. Like the Chargers, the Rams are just going to ride on in, and then like the Chiefs, the Raiders are just going to scatter and go raid in behind the Rams. They're going to destroy their infrastructure. They're just going to, the Rams won't be able to support their army. They're going to be logistically impaired. And what happens to a team that is logistically impaired? The team, as Napoleon said, an army marches on its stomach. So I mean, what is the Raiders? Is that fake grass, Fixxxer?
Is that what?
Are they playing on fake grass?
No, I believe that's real grass.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, the Rams are going to be able to eat some grass. They're able to live off the land, at least to a certain extent. However, it is still the case that in terms of reinforcements and armaments, they're going to be cut off. They're just going to be flailing around with their horns. They're not going to know what to do. So, like with the Chargers versus the Chiefs, I have to give this one to the Raiders. I'm sorry. Is Oakland in California?
It is. But they're only in Oakland for this year. They're moving to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Or no, is it the Las Vegas Raiders or the Vegas Raiders? I'm not sure if they've actually determined that yet.
Well, that's weird.
It is weird.
So why are you the teams renouncing their homelands? That's so mean.
It's all about the money. It's all about the money. All right. Final game, Monday Night Football, the New York Jets versus the Detroit Lions. This is our featured game, not necessarily because of the quality of the teams, but because we're picking one game per week to talk about the origins of the teams, where they're located, and what their names are. So, to start out, the Lions, they began as a football team in Portsmouth, Ohio, as the Portsmouth Spartans in 1930. The city, however, was too small to support a team, so it was sold and moved to Detroit in 1934. The name the Lions was chosen as a compliment to the Detroit Tigers baseball team because the lion is quote-unquote the monarch of the jungle. And
What?
Yes.
What? Come on, you got to give me this too. Like, why would you give up the Spartans? Like, the Spartans, they're like the epitome of toxic masculinity. Don't you even know Frank Miller? Like, what is this? I mean, like, yeah, sure, the lion is the monarch of the jungle. Well, we aren't playing on the jungle. We're playing on a football field that sometimes doesn't even have real grass. Like, what is this? This is dumb.
I can speculate. I don't know if this is true, but I can speculate. One of Michigan's oldest universities is Michigan State University, and their mascot is the Spartan. So by moving the team to Detroit, it's possible the owner did not want to have two Spartan teams in Michigan. That would be my guess.
I see. So they would, war against each other. I mean, that's true because the Spartan army historically rarely moves out to the field to fight fight an enemy, because obviously if the Spartan army is away, then the larger population of held up slaves will be able to rise up and overthrow the state. So, if we have two Spartan states both moving their armies out to fight each other, then both headlots will unite and revolt. So that makes sense, It's okay. That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. Excellent. So the New York Jets, they started out as the Titans of New York back in 1959. The name was chosen because the Titans are bigger than Giants, according to the team's owner, which is the name of the other New York football team, the Giants. The team had financial woes and they were sold in 1962, just 3 years after their inception. The new owner renamed the team to the Jets because they were to play football near LaGuardia Airport, and the new owner wanted a name to reflect the modern approach that he intended with his football team. I guess that worked out pretty well for them. So
yeah, that's weird.
It is weird. Yeah. Owners do weird things when it comes to naming their teams.
And then the Titans are in Tennessee. I don't even.
Yes, and not only that, the Titans in Tennessee moved to Tennessee. They used to be the Houston Oilers.
Oilers. Well, that's just polluting the environment.
It is indeed. All right, so on to the actual game. The Jets, they traded away Teddy Bridgewater to the Saints, and they're going to go with rookie Sam Darnold as their starting quarterback. I think this is what most Jets fans want. They're focused on. They're really excited about Sam Darnold. I think they're all pretty happy with this. They're hoping the rookie QB turns into a legit starter pretty quickly. The Lions have a fancy new coach, a tough quarterback, and they have excellent receivers as well as a great secondary. But they haven't had a consistent running back in at least 10 years. I think it's been more than that. I don't remember. I was looking back. I think it's been 15 maybe even. Anyway, they signed LeGarrette Blount. I don't think he's going to be a long-term solution. But Darnold's not going to have fun against this secondary. It's one of the best in football. I think the Lions are going to win at home. Detroit Lions. How about you, Tulkas?
So, I mean, what Jets are we talking about? Are we talking like World War II era Jets or like modern day Jets? Like F-35s or whatever it is?
Well, I mean, it was kind of World War II era when it started.
Yeah, so they were sold in, I guess 1962. So it's, I guess the Jets in 1960. I don't know. For next episode, I'll try to look up about the Jets from 1962, or you can let me in the comments below. Viewer engagement, look at me. But I don't know. I think that the Jets probably, 1962. They probably. I mean, do they have like napalm? Like, are they just like?
I'm sending you one of the old logos of the Jets. If you look at the top right in Discord. Okay. That was their logo a long time ago. It's not their current one though. But that will give you an idea what kind of jet they intended.
Ooh, and you also sent me the Redskins logo. Look at you. But so yeah, I think that the Jets, they're able to. They have aerial. They have aerial superiority. They're able to dominate the skies. However, the Lions, they're pretty fast moving, they're catch, difficult to hit. So, I think that, and also, I mean, how are the Jets even going to like get the football? I mean, they have to land to get the football, and then when they're landing, the Lions are going to pounce on them. I don't know. It all depends on what kind of armaments the Jets have. However,
neither one of these have opposable thumbs.
That's true. However, I mean, the Lions can like get it in their mouth, but then if they pick it up in their mouth, then they might bite through it, and then we'd have a deflate gate, which I think with some football related drama. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was soccer. I don't know. But I think the Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm not really sure on this one, but I think that having 3 ties would be too much, so I'm going to go with the Lions.
Awesome. I think that's it. That's all the games for this week.
Woo!
So what we'll do next week when we cover week 2 in the NFL, we'll go over how accurate we were the previous week, and then we'll hop right into it, I suppose.
Sounds like hop fun. Like a rabbit.
Like a rabbit. So
yay! We're gonna be rabbits! Woo!
We'd like to know how you guys feel. Some feedback would be wonderful. What did you guys like? What did you guys not like? Expect us to make some changes, perhaps over the first few weeks, to kind of mold and discover how we want to better the show, etc., etc. Again, you can expect future episodes to be about 40 minutes long. We're probably going to try to get them up on Thursdays. That's the goal, anyways, to get them up on Thursdays before the first game of the week. And I'm curious, Tulkas, do you listen to podcasts at all?
I used to listen to the Mindcrack podcast, for what that's worth.
Okay. I want to know what you guys use to listen to podcasts. Do you guys use like SoundCloud? You use iTunes, Podbean, Overcast? I'm curious what people use, so perhaps we can go about getting this distributed elsewhere. All right, so let us know, and we'll explore where we can distribute the show. Tulkas, where can everybody find you at?
You can find me at youtube.com/TalksValiant.
And you can find me at youtube.com/FixxerTV, or at Twitter at FixxerTV, or Twitch at twitch.tv/FixxerTV. You know the drill.
Type 1 in the comments below if you think that I'm prettier than Fixxer, and type 2 if you think Fixxer is prettier than me.
Fantastic. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye! Bye!